Is this the beginning of the end or the end to the beginning? Let's go.
We are the chosen. This is the age of Aquarius. The times are right for us to take back our chariots. Burning brighter than the Amazon fire. Fuel engineers sell us like Judas Iscariot. Various words that's leading us to soldier sacrifice.
Wholeness and balance, family. Hope everyone's doing well today. Another beautiful hot day out here in Cali, and sleep deprivation at its finest. So today we are going to get into, is it the beginning of the end or the end to the beginning? Lots of crazy stuff is going on. These last 2 years have been something else. It's been one thing after another. And the doomsday prophets and the doom and gloom people, the conspiracy theorists, looks like they might have been right. Or at least a lot of the things that they said. I almost just hit a squirrel. Thank God I didn't kill him. A lot of the predictions from Nostradamus to the book of Revelation to a lot of channelings, a lot of things that have come out seem to line up awfully close to the times that we're living in right now. And the question is this really the end? Is this the beginning of the tribulation period? Or are we due to enter into the 1,000 years of peace? And this is a very controversial subject because everybody has their own opinions about it, and there have been whole doctrines built around this belief, whole belief systems built around this belief. But it's very important, especially in the times that we're living in. I personally feel that we are experiencing what is known as a bifurcation, a splitting of Earth, and in which those that are vibrating at a particular frequency are basically going to stay with this Earth, the current timeline that it's in, the current trajectory, and those that are operating on a higher vibration, those that are operating off of love, compassion, that don't live in fear. It's basically boils down to that. Do you live out of fear? Do you live out of love? Out of all the things that are happening right now with all the scares of the pandemic and talks of the great reset and all the things that are being pushed on our timeline, it's one thing to be prepared, to see the things coming and to be prepared, which I think is a noble act. But are you consumed with that fear? Are you consumed with the worry of the new strains and the new different types of, I don't even want to say the word because I don't want to get blasted on from YouTube, the new variables of the mutations? Are you afraid? I still see people driving around with 2 masks on. I still see people that have their gloves on, and just you can still see, like, there's just such a divide now with people, with those that actually see what's going on, that have done the research, or at least have asked the questions and are starting to understand that this is bigger than just a virus. This is about the push for the takeover. And right now what we're witnessing, from my humble opinion, because I don't have it all figured out, I just do the research and I listen to what my spirit is telling me. My spirit has been telling me that we are truly heading into the greatest times that we have ever seen, and probably will ever see, coming up here in the near future. Now, I know it doesn't look like that. I know it doesn't feel like that. I personally feel like what we've experienced, especially with the outbreak of this pandemic, was the start of the global dark night of the soul. In the early church, the church mystics, those that had extreme, amazing encounters with God, devoted their lives to prayer and devoted their lives to holiness and righteousness, and just literally dedicated their lives to just being in communion with the Most High. And, excuse me, I just lost my train of thought. I hate when that happens. Oh, sorry. So, dark night of the soul. So before any of them encountered their mystical experiences, their ecstasies, they had spirit. It's the breakdown before the breakthrough. And it's an essential component, at least that I've learned, in spiritual growth, because it really determines whether you're going to break through or whether you're going to stay stagnant. And I think that the beginning of the 2020 was the catalyst for our dark night of the soul, and all of us from one degree or another went through it and are currently going through it. And as now we're progressing, timelines are speeding up. The Schumann resonance is just off the scale. Look up the Schumann resonance if you get a chance, because that's crucial to what we're experiencing right now and why people are feeling the way that they're feeling. We're seeing the best of people and we're seeing the worst of people. And what's happening is the frequency is changing our DNAs. The sun is contributing with the solar flares, the solar flashes. We're supposed to have something known as the Great Solar Flash, and governments are fully aware of this. This is why there's been a huge push to block out the sun. And whether you believe in chemtrails or you believe that they're real or not, it's up to you. But if you do enough digging, you can see that there's validity to that. Now, if you think about it, the elitists are very afraid of this solar flash, because what it's going to do, allegedly, and again, this is all from what I've researched. I'm not saying this is 100% fact, but this is from what I see, and this is what I feel, that this great solar flash is going to go off in the very, very near future. Like, it could be this year, it could be next year, it could be 5 years, but everything that we're seeing now that's been pushed on a global scale, the takeover of the elitists, the ones who were really wanting to ring in control and usher in their NWO, the New World Order, this shouldn't have been unrolled until 2050, when the 45th president was in office. He put a hell of a monkey wrench in their plans. Everything was set up to where Clinton was supposed to get in and slam dunk everything, because Obama had set it up. We had infiltrators after JFK. JFK was probably the last real president that we actually had. And I'm not into politics, but this last 5 years had really got me paying attention to what's happening on the political realm, even on the geopolitical scale, and what's going on worldwide, and how all these leaders resemble what our leaders look like. For example, what we have right now in office, the guy who doesn't even know his name, who doesn't even know where he's at half the time. We have these other leaders that essentially got their way into office in other countries and are essentially pushing the exact same narratives, the exact same agendas that are being pushed here. Now, the question is, are we going to sit and take it, or are we going to rise up and actually push back? Because according to them, they follow something called the Hegelian Dialectic. This means in order to implement change, in order to control the population, you have three major components that you need to cover. You need to create a problem, you need to get the reaction from the public, and then you offer the solution. So every time we have some kind of a false flag, it's because they need to implement some kind of a change. Now, we see what happened with this outbreak, right? Everybody was concerned, everybody was afraid, and what was the first thing they did? Oh, lockdown, everybody stay in your home, right? Now, bringing me back to what my thoughts are about the solar flare, the solar flash, they're afraid, they're deathly afraid of this thing going off and us waking up, because what it's supposed to do is awaken our DNA, and all those strands of junk DNA, which aren't actually junk DNA, will unlock our true potential. We will be operating at 100% capacity. Some experiencing supernatural powers, which are really just who we are, but we've been programmed. We've been completely distorted in our way of actually understanding who we truly are. We've had our food completely polluted. We've had our air polluted. We've had our water filled with fluoride to block our pineal gland, which is our gateway to the divine, or gateway to within, or above, whatever you want to call it. So we had been attacked on so many scales for so long, including the you know that what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to be very careful, as always, with these videos on Fluff Tube, because I can't say what I want to say because YouTube's got a chokehold. control on us. So I'm being very cautious with what I say. But we're seeing a push. We're seeing a push. You look in Revelation, it talks about the mark of the beast, that, you know, whether rich or free, bond or slave, everybody will receive a mark on their right hand or their forehead, and that they won't be able to buy or sell unless they have this mark. Now, what's going on in other countries? Well, they're trying to push. Some have even gotten to the point of actually mandating the jab and saying that unless you have gotten the jab, that you are not able to go buy food, you're not able to go work. So we're seeing this thing already unfolding. We see who's at the top of this, none other than Bill Gates, who seems very trustworthy to me. I don't know about you. I mean, I would definitely line up and just receive whatever he has in store, because not like he would have an agenda, right? But I think we're on the breaking point right now. We're on the breaking point. I feel a shift. I felt a shift within the last probably 2 months. People are really starting to wake up now. People are really starting to ask questions. The Schumann resonance is off the charts at this point. Used to be at a 7.8 is the Earth's frequency, or the Earth's aura, whatever you want to call it, and it's been up near 30, up near 40 sometimes. And these are just extreme blasts of energy, of frequency, that are causing us to change. So some people are feeling irritable, some people are feeling depressed, some people are feeling heavy, some people are feeling ecstatic, some people are feeling free. It just depends on your frequency, how you react to this, to the Schumann resonance and to the solar flashes, how you will upgrade or how you will degrade from this. Essentially, this is to kick you into high gear, to upgrade and to evolve, for all of us to evolve. And this is one of the few times in history, in galactic history, that this is able to happen, because we've gotten close in the past, and every time we've gotten prideful, we've gotten arrogant, and we fell, and we had to start back from start one. You know, we've had Atlantis. The Mayans were extremely advanced, although I didn't agree with the sacrifice and stuff that was taking place there. But there were civilizations that had gotten so advanced to the point where they were basically almost out of the dimension. But because of, like I said, because of arrogance, because of infighting, because of a lack of union and a lack of harmony, they couldn't hold that frequency, and they ended up falling. So this is the great test of humanity at this point, the great test of the globe. Are we able to ascend? Are we able to overcome the matrix and move on to a new earth? Are we moving to the great new age? Not the new age in the Blavatsky type of way, the controlled NWO new age, satanic version of that, but the liberation, the sovereignty, the freedom, the patents for free energy that have been suppressed, the patents for med beds, things that have been discovered, and oh my gosh, my brain is just not working today. So like I said, sleep deprivation really does a number on you. When you have kids, you don't sleep much. But all these things that have been suppressed for our benefit, to keep us needing big pharma, to keep us needing all these organizations and institutions that no longer serve us, that have not served us in a very long time. Doctors kill health, religion kills spirituality, schools kill education. It's just everything in this world is backwards, and now's the time that people are starting to wake up and question. Things are becoming so blatantly obvious at this point that you would literally have to bury your head in the sand to not see what's going on in the world and ask, hey, something's not right here. So my question to you is, are you actively embracing the change, or are you resisting? Are you holding to the matrix? Are you holding to the old matrix grid, or are you embracing the new change, the new frequency? This will determine where we end up. The bifurcation looks like it's really, really taking place, and those that make it are those that are adaptable, those that are willing to change, those that are tuned to a higher frequency. I've heard some people say it's those that are eating really well, that are avoiding meats, which is not me, so hopefully I'm not kicked out of the new earth because of that. But regardless, we are at the breaking point. We we are literally at the precipice, and with their attempts to do everything they can to keep us in control, keep us in submission, it's forcing more people to wake up. They're getting desperate with the moves. Everything that happens with the elitists has to move in a slow form. They can't push anything too fast because it'll wake people up. But what have they done? In the last 2 years, they've unrolled something that should have taken 25 years to roll out slowly, gradually. They call it the totalitarian tiptoe. David Icke calls it that. And because you can't boil a frog in boiling water. You can't throw him in boiling water because he'll jump out. But if you throw him in cold water and slowly boil it, then before the frog knows it, he's dead. And that's how they've gotten so far with what they've had, because when they strategize and they get in their Bilderberg groups, or they get in their, I don't know if they even meet at the Bohemian Grove anymore, but when they get in their little think tanks, they will strategize, not for next year, but they'll strategize for 20, 40, 50 years out, and the agendas that need to roll out in order to fulfill what they want, which is essentially getting rid of all of us so they can have everything to themselves. Once you have all the money in the world, you no longer care about what you can buy, because it's the root. The love of money is the root of all evil. So when your sole mission is to get as much money as you can, you're gonna do anything you can to get that money. And they've done anything and everything, things that you can't even imagine, that will give you nightmares, to children, it baffles the regular person's mind. But these things will come out soon. This has been a preparatory stage. There's a lot of information that's dripping slowly to wake up the masses, because they know they can't drop the hammer, because people will freak out. People will go in panic mode. So there's a lot I want to say on this video, but I got to cut it short because I got to go into my corporate slavery and earn a couple more shekels. But I hope that this got you to think. Hopefully, this resonates with somebody. Share your opinions, share your comments down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Show your boy some love. I'm still new on YouTube, trying to get this thing up in gear. It's been a long time. I knew I've been wanting to do this forever, so I'm finally putting myself out there and doing it, even though I feel like I'm not even qualified to speak. I have a challenge sometimes with getting words out of my mouth, but I'm just going to continue to do it. So hopefully this challenges you. Are you going to be able to, are you going to make the great shift? Or are you going to be a part of the matrix grid, the matrix bifurcation? Let me know down below, guys. Be sure to check out my gratitude journal down below. It's like $6, super cheap. Awesome resource if you're trying to tune your mind to the frequency of gratitude, to the frequency of abundance. Take the Greatness to Gratitude Challenge and just watch your life transform. Anyway, guys, I love you. I hope you're all doing amazing. Wishing you wholeness and balanced vibrations. Thank you for tuning in. Have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you next time. Let's go.
Take back the money they stole, like it out the program in the media. Last that they sold you. The only return on investment that we're receiving is a birth certificate proving they own us. The entire system is broken. The truth is it's only reflection of our own self-corrosion. Working our lives away just like some corporate slaves. Also we can live off a few shiny tokens. We are the chosen. This is the age of Aquarius. The times are right for us to